Hey, welcome to episode 11 of The Hills Have Nerds, the podcast that answers the question, who would win in a fight? Saitama or your mama? Both of them bloodlusted, of course. Today, it's time, kids. Gather around, cozy up with the body pillow of your favorite waifu, get a big heaping plate of tendies, put on your best trilby because it's not a fedora, damn it. And let your mom know you're not to be disturbed during your otaku time because you're a 32-year-old man who has the right to privacy. And the nerds are talking about anime. Today, we're talking about anime. Where did it come from? What was the first? When did it take off? Is it different from cartoons? Some accolades different anime has received over the years, and oh dear Lord, all of the genres. Plus, whatever else our meandering conversation leads us to. I'm one of your hosts, Josh, and today I'm joined as always by Aaron.
Hello.
Lee.
Hello.
And Cody.
Hello.
Before we get into all that anime goodness, what are we playing? What are we watching? What do we read?
Okay, nobody else going to start? I will.
Yeah, go for it, Cody.
I've been playing the original set of Final Fantasies, playing through the Pixel remasters.
Oh, you're talking about punching yourself in the face in Final Fantasy 2?
Yeah.
Forever?
Yeah. Final Fantasy 2 is rough.
So how does that work again? Like, I've never played Final Fantasy.
I get the idea behind it, and I mean, you see it used in Skyrim later, but not to this degree. It's the more you do a skill, the better you get at it.
Yeah.
But to get your health and defense up, you have to take damage.
Okay. Well, I mean, a lot of games did that. Like, I mean, EverQuest.
Yeah, but I mean, this is, NES time, and NES couldn't handle very well.
Mm-hmm.
So the best way to do it is get down to like one enemy left that either misses or only does like one damage and just sit there and punch yourself.
So you can attack yourself?
Yeah.
Okay. So that only works if you can attack yourself.
Yeah. But the best thing to do...
Now, do you mean punch your other teammates or have your each individual character target themselves?
They can target themselves.
Or you have them target... Okay.
The best thing to do is to equip a weapon to them and then have them attack themselves.
Because then the weapon levels up too alongside it, right?
No, because your fists deal more damage.
It's making me a weapon before I hurt myself.
What's that in Liar?
What are you doing? I'm kicking my own ass.
So that was a meme. That's a meme I shared for it. But it's whenever you unequip weapons, they get a dual wielding bonus for using your fists because you're dual wielding your fists now.
Okay, I can see that.
You can equip a shield and it takes that away.
It takes the dual wield bonus away.
And
okay.
I mean, I ended up punching everything to death in that just horribly fast.
Okay.
And then I got to the last boss and it kind of wrecked me for a minute, and I had to level up a couple of spells and then I just walked the floor with it. It was a fun time. Okay. But as far as like reading, I just finished listening to the third Dark Tower book. It was pretty good. And finished reading The Haunting of Hill House.
What do you think about the end?
It just kind of ends.
Yep.
But I mean,
isn't that appropriate?
Yeah, but it's like the way it ends is like there's nothing else to be said. Everybody just left. So I mean, there wasn't any more story there.
I just feel like the ghosts in that are more like psychological.
Oh yeah.
For sure. There's like so little that's concrete. Yeah. Even the stuff that's like the cold spot's really about the only thing that's like, well, that's really paranormal. Because the rest of it's like,
especially the house's effect on this family.
Yeah. I mean, the whole thing is like a narrative of mental health, really.
Yeah. People just can't be good to each other.
Oh yeah. It's a very slow start, but I think it's still a good book.
What about you, Lee?
I've been playing Elden Ring again because of the recent announcement of the DLC coming out.
What's the DLC title? The Ashura tree or something tree?
Something of Ashes or Shadow of the Erd Tree.
Shadow of the Erd Tree.
Oh my goodness, I can't wait. June 21st.
That game's like 4 years old, right?
Oh yeah.
Or is it older than that?
2 or 3, I think.
Yeah,
and
something
still
like that.
$60 everywhere you go.
Well, yeah, I mean, they're releasing DLC for a 3-year-old game.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it was announced it was going to have DLC when it came out. They've just been slow about it.
Yeah.
I guess that's good though, right? Like
Yeah.
well, on one hand, we want our stuff kind of timely. On the other hand, we want good things, so we have to be able to.
I'd rather
Yeah,
them make
but
it good and it be a little late.
Yeah,
What
I
was-
feel the same way.
What was that game? The Skull and Crossbones, or
Oh, the Ubisoft,
Skull and Bones, that
yeah, Skull and
pirate
Bones.
game that just came out. Or
Yeah.
it's in early access now.
yeah, the DLC for whatever Elden Ring actually outsold that immediately.
Oh
yeah.
I bet it would.
Yeah.
I looked at a little bit of the
It's
the
so
beta
good.
for that and had a buddy buddy was playing it. Watched. I mean, it looked okay.
Yeah.
If you're into pirates, man, it looked fun. Like it'd be right up your alley, but it looked like a little kind of slap. It reminded me of New World, kind of a little bit. And I liked
That's
New
it.
World for what it was, but it just didn't look like something that attracted me. But I can see like Elden Ring, like that's a Souls-like. That's a
Well,
That's a household
it's
name.
It's actually from
Yeah.
So.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's got a cult following.
Oh, I know, it's so
Yeah.
good.
Well, more than a cult now, but
So I've been playing that again, kind of getting prepared for that DLC to come out, and then I also just finished up Final Fantasy VII Integrate, the DLC for the Final Fantasy Remake game. There's so many different names right there.
Oh, yeah.
It's the Yuffie DLC.
So they're doing they re-released Final Fantasy VII,
Mhm.
right? They did
It's a
remaster.
remake.
it's a
type-
remake.
completely
remake.
remake. Okay.
Yeah, they've even changed the story a little bit.
Okay.
So
Speculation is that it could be a sequel, actually. So there's a lot of theory crafting about how it could possibly be a sequel.
But you're playing the DLC for it already? It
When
come
it
out?
came out,
Okay.
Rebirth is the one that's coming out soon.
Next
Integrate was a DLC for the remake that came out 3 years ago.
Yeah.
And so Integrate is
Something like that?
new?
no, not really.
It's like
Okay.
Integrate's like a year or two,
Yeah.
year-ish.
I just hadn't played it, and so I was like, I
Yeah.
need to play this before the new game comes out.
What's the new
To
one?
my understanding,
Rebirth.
it's like an in between the
Yeah.
two games. It's supposed to it bridges the two games.
So
together.
Rebirth bridges 7.
No.
Integrate.
Integrate Rebirth. Integrate bridges.
Hold on.
Final Fantasy
You
7
shut up
remake
for a second.
and
Let me get
Rebirth.
Okay. Final Fantasy 8?
7.
7. Okay. So there was the original back in the day. It was Final Fantasy 7 for the PlayStation.
Yes.
Okay. That was released. Good.
I'll go get the
Then we
whiteboard.
had
We need a whiteboard. Flowchart.
Go get the whiteboard. And then there was a remake of Final Fantasy VII, like a remake, almost like a new game.
It wasn't a full remake. It just covered through Midgard.
They were splitting it into two games. Which
Three.
is
Okay.
3 games.
All right.
They're planning on 3.
Okay, so they're planning on 3, and then Integrade came out. What does Integrade cover?
It covers.
Or is it new?
It's almost
New.
entirely new as
Yeah.
far as story goes.
And Integrade's DLC for part 1 of the Final Fantasy VII trilogy.
Yes.
And then the second part of the Final Fantasy VII trilogy comes out soon.
Friday.
Rebirth.
Friday, meaning today as of recording,
in
is
March. Today's 26th. So
Today's
March
February
1st.
26th when we're recording this, so March 1st.
I think it's Friday. Pretty sure it's Friday.
I have no idea.
Y'all on podcast land will be getting this at the end of March. You're
Woo.
welcome.
So at that point, I should be deep into that game.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. I get it. I understand now.
So playing those, and then when
So
Hots, of course. I've just played enough Heroes of the Storm to feel like I'm getting good.
I'm a little pissed off at you on Heroes of the Storm.
Why?
Because me and Aaron started playing it and no one has invited us to play with it. I
Okay.
told you. Like, we've been playing it. My kid was playing it. I played with my kid.
How long were you guys playing?
I don't know.
I mean, I play like
3 weeks.
Listen,
And then
Jonathan,
Power World
it was
came out.
before Power World.
Oh.
Then when Power World came out, all bets were off.
Yeah.
Like, that's what I've been.
okay. Because I was starting to say it's like we play maybe once a week, then we play like 30 games that day or something.
Yeah. We haven't played any ARAM.
Yeah,
All random, all mid. I was looking at it.
That's what we play.
I played one game of it and won.
Playing it enough to get angry.
So once.
Yeah.
When I play against somebody that's not a computer, I don't like who I become.
Oh yeah.
Like, I don't like the me that is at the computer.
Yeah, it's not good for me because I'm starting to get to the point where I can go, that's a really good player. that I'm fighting against. I'm also like writing down their name so I can yell at them next time I see them, because the community's small enough that we see the same people pretty often.
Oh yeah, I'd say.
So I'm like, I'm coming back for you. And I'll see somebody in the next game that harassed me in the previous one. I'm like, this man's dying. I just gun for them the entire time.
Well, he writes down the good player names, so if they're on his team, he's like, I know you're good. You better,
you better show up, son.
Better not feed.
But yeah, playing that, and then
HOTS is Heroes of the Storm, by the way. It's Blizzard's MOBA.
I don't think I've really been watching anything, so I'm excited about Doom 2. Very excited about that. That comes out first.
I need to watch the first.
Oh my goodness!
I still haven't watched the first
I
one.
think
yet.
we might do
So
the
good.
theater for that. I'm thinking about it.
Yeah.
Doom 2, I will. Depends on what my kids want to do. We might do the private theater.
Because Vicky wants to see that too. So
Yeah, I'll let you know. I'll talk to him.
I think that's about it. Oh, and I'm reading Itchy Tasty. I will finish that book eventually.
What is
I'm
the
listening
Itchy
to it.
Tasty?
It's the Resident Evil, like story of Resident Evil's creation, basically, and all the background to all the games and such. It's not like lore necessarily. It's like the creation, behind the scenes sort of stuff.
Okay. It's like the development of the game, not
Yeah.
the lore of
Yeah.
the world
I
itself.
love it. That's actually
Is it
Well, that's
cover
cool.
4 in that?
Huh?
Is it cover 4 in that?
yes.
Because the development behind 4 is wild.
4 is
Oh yeah. Well, because it started on the
really weird.
PlayStation 2, PlayStation 1. It started a long time ago.
It was GameCube exclusive,
Oh yeah.
and then
I think this could definitely be a nerd out episode.
Cat,
Yeah.
Resident Evil. We did.
Yeah.
Capcom kind of screwed them over.
Yeah, there's a whole big thing there.
Yeah.
So.
Let's leave it there and make a little note. Maybe we come back around to this for a little episode on
I
the
could definitely do
development of Resident Evil.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I know you guys are wild about it. I just like watching people play it. I'd love to sit here and listen to you talk about it. It's just it's an interesting game. I love the lore behind it. I like the developers, the ideas they have for the game series are really cool.
I don't want to go too far into it. I want to tell you real quick. Not about the Resident Evil stuff, but I'm looking at different books right now, and I love reading and listening to audiobooks of video game stuff. But I'm trying to put together a syllabus to pitch to my boss about teaching a video game class.
Oh,
But it's like teaching English using video games.
Mhm.
So
I mean, there's some well-written stories
Yeah.
in them.
Arthas is one of the books I want to use. So for Christy Golden's Arthas,
Oh,
easy money, dude.
dude!
Easy money.
Oh my god!
So
That's why I call my son that. I always tell him, I said, Riley, on the day you were born, the very force of Lord Ron whispered the name. Arthas. And I tell him that all the time. And the his kids, I went down. He had a play he was in. And some of his friends came up to me, and he was like, "That's my dad." And they go, "You're the one that calls him Arthas." Because apparently he tells. He's like,
That's funny.
about that. It's about one of the little girls played WoW, so I talked to one of his little friends about WoW. That was cool. But yeah, Aaron.
I've been watching a lot of anime recently. I've been on kind of a binge. I get in kicks. I go for a while and don't watch any, and then I get in kicks, and I've subbed to Crunchyroll, so it's like I have to justify my sub.
Yeah.
So I've been going through and just watching a lot. I've been watching that Magic and Muscles, which has been fantastic. Watching a lot of isekai stuff.
They got real popular real
Yeah,
fast.
well,
For
there's
a
a
while.
lot of them. I love the Overlord. I finished the Overlord series. I've watched that time I got reincarnated as a slime. There's been a lot of them I've been watching through. It's been fantastic. It's nice getting to watch some of them because I've been so out. And of course, I always keep up with One Piece.
Yeah.
Playing wise, Power World.
God, we played the crap out of Power World.
Yeah, we played the crap out of Power World recently.
Still.
We played that. What was it? Sanctum 2
Sanctum 2. Have you guys heard of that?
from like
Could you see it?
Long time
a
ago.
long
Forever
time old.
ago,
thing.
yeah.
Well, when we got into it, the news on the side, we could tell how old it was when it was like it was talking about Deep Rock Galactic Alpha. It was like you can sign up for the Deep Rock Galactic Alpha now. It was like, oh dang! And then what was the other one they did?
Satisfactory.
Satisfactory. They were talking about Satisfactory updates, and it was like, and it even said 2018 on it, and I was like, ooh, this is real though.
Crazy to think that's 6 years old now.
Yeah, but it's been a really cool game. It's like a first-person shooter, tower defense. So you set up your walls and redirect, and you're still shooting first person, but you set up towers to defend. It was really cool. Had a really good time until we got that first boss, and it kind of just surprised us. We still beat it, it just surprised me. It came through and started busting through walls. So,
let's build your tower better. Third.
Oh yeah, that boss absolutely just came and started knocking everything down. Well, I thought at first because like all the other mobs just like ran through the path we built.
Yeah.
And it was like boss incoming. We're like, cool, there's a boss coming. And our buddy Zach had played the game before, right? Or
he played the first one, not the second one.
Yeah, and he had never gotten far enough through it to see a boss. And he just, whatever. And this thing just comes busting through, doesn't give a crap about our walls.
It's a Kool-Aid man.
Oh, yeah. It just busts through.
Like, it just punched. I was like, holy crap, this boss is huge. And I've just seen it just swing his fist, and it busted through. I was like, it's breaking the walls.
Busting walls and turrets, and you can't build while you're fighting.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
But just so happened it didn't come out until after we cleared everything, and it doesn't focus your core, it goes after you.
Well, there were still things coming out.
Were there still stuff coming out?
It just wasn't as much.
So chaotic. But we beat it and we won, and that's the important thing. Yeah.
But it was a surprisingly fun game it was one that we had on Humble Bundle. I think it was on sale, so some of us had it on Humble Bundle. But it was good. Humble Bundle Max.
Humble Bundle, by the way, if no one knows what Humble Bundle is, it is a website, and they do stuff for charity, right? They'll put together these bundles of video games or RPG books or different
computer software.
Yeah, computer software, just different stuff, and they sell it for pretty much pay what you want. For the most part, some of them have like minimums.
They have restrictions. It's usually you pay so much and you get all of these, or you can pay at a certain point and you get so many of them, things like that.
You pay a minimum to get all of it.
Yeah.
And the money goes towards a charity, right? Like this goes towards.
Down. They actually tell you on the website and break it down how much, depending on how much you send, how much is going to them, how much is going to charity, and everything.
Can you still change the bars on it?
Yeah.
And for an example, to kind of give you an idea of what you can get, there was a Chaosium bundle, a Call of Cthulhu RPG book bundle on not too long ago, and it was $35 was the minimum, and you can pay more than that if you want to donate a little bit more. You can, but $35 was the minimum to get everything. And if I got it obviously, if I had gotten all that content off of Chaosium, it was like $410 worth of PDFs. Like, it's unreal value. It's $35. I think I paid $50. Put in $50, put a little bit extra in to go towards it. Yeah, just absolutely phenomenal site, and I'll put a link to that in the show notes. Humble Bundle, check it out, check it often.
Absolutely. They did a really good bundle during the Ukraine issue.
Yeah, they did. Well, at the start of it.
Yeah. And it was a really good bundle too.
Oh yeah.
It was like $35 and you got like,
it was like 200. I think it was 176 games.
Yeah. It's good. It's good. Tragedies can happen, so we can benefit.
Sure appreciate that, Ukraine. Thanks, Russia.
Thanks. There can be foreign wars, so we can get video games for cheap.
There's a lot of good websites like that, actually.
Yeah.
Fanatical.
I don't know.
I've never heard of Fanatical.
Check out Fanatical.
Good. GOG is really good, but they don't do bundles. They sell DRM free stuff. So if I buy it, I can make a copy and give it to you.
Okay.
But you can't hardly play together because you'd have to, like, whoever bought it would have to update the game, make a copy of it, and then send that to you. Like, it would be a whole ordeal.
With new securities and stuff that people place in the games, it gets harder to share and play together.
Fanatical's like Humble Bundle. The games are sometimes a little less recognizable, but a lot of Steam indie stuff.
Yeah.
And there's usually like 5 to 10 bundles available for video games.
Oh, that's
cool. Check it out.
Humble Bundles crazy. Humble Bundles kind of went down a little bit of what it used to be as far as like bigger games, but they still have some really good games on there sometimes.
Yeah. It's a good cause.
It is.
It's a good cause.
Yeah, I don't think Fanatical's charity, unfortunately.
Well, Humble Bundle's a good cause. Like, that goes to charity to help those less fortunate.
I don't think Fanatical does it all.
It's just Fanatical CEO just wallowing in money somewhere.
Fanatical's the evil Humble Bundle? Is that what it is?
Pretty much.
Yeah. Like, give our money away? He's like, what's that, the David Chappelle gift where he's like gripping his money? Charity.
All right. So as for me, what am I playing? What am I watching? What am I reading? So I'm playing Power World. Dude, Power World's phenomenal. Check out Power World if you haven't checked out Power World. We got a whole episode about it. It's our second Nerd Out we posted. Go listen to the Nerd Out. We'll tell you all about Power World. I'm not going to rehash it here. Yep. Last Epoch. I've been playing Last Epoch. That is it's like Diablo meets Chrono Trigger. It's a top-down kind of isometric ARPG. Not isometric, but just, isometric's the word, right? Top-down isometric ARPG, so action RPG. It's not like a turn-based thing. It's, you just hack and slash through sea of monsters. Boom, 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 boom. But the story deals with time travel. So you're kind of like jumping from time period to time period, back and forth to there's a problem happening in the first part, in the first time period. So you're going to go forward in time to stop something from happening later, so you can get something to come way back in time to stop something else, to then go back to the future to prevent there. And you're just kind of leaping back and forth to get different relics and different things at different time periods, because that's where they are, to stop this central thing that is the key to all of it. It's really cool. Again, if you're a fan of Diablo 2, Diablo 3, Diablo 4, Path of Exile, if you like that type of play, this one's great. Skill trees, or the skills have their own skill trees, as well as the classes have different specs and things to them. There's 5 different base classes with 15 different, like, masteries is what they call them. They're like advanced classes. It's really, really cool.
Yo, dog, I heard you like skills. We got skills.
Dude, your skills level with you, so you equip them, and then they level with you, and then there are further skill trees. It's nuts.
What was that show called?
What?
Pimp
My Ride. Pimp My Ride.
Is that a Pimp My Ride reference?
Yeah. Who was it?
2000.
Ice-T.
Ice-T
and Pimp My Ride. Man, that was. They'd take somebody who was like, I'm a single mother of 4, and I need a car to get my kids to kindergarten. They're like, we're gonna put a fish tank in it. We got 6 PS5s and $17,000 worth of sound systems and a live eel in the truck. And there you go.
They would find out. She'd be like, oh, we heard that Karen liked the ocean, so we're gonna put a tank in the back of this.
I loved it so much, and you could tell, dude. Ice-T was having so much fun with it too. Yeah. Man. I think I heard a couple interviews on it that he liked. It was sick, man. It was so great. This dude never had like a functional car in his life. And they're like, all right.
I watched a few episodes, but I think my favorite part was just to watch the end, see what the car looked like at the end.
Yeah.
I didn't care what they transformed it from. I cared about how it looked at the end.
You hit one pothole in Compton, just wrecked. Oh, Lord, that's fantastic.
I do remember that guy.
Put a target on this car.
Oh yeah, that was one of the things I like. Some of these people, like, they were talking about how they lived in bad neighborhoods, and he was like, "And I put a PS5." And they're like, yeah. Right back then, it was like I put a PS3 back in your car.
I don't even think it was a PS3. We put a PlayStation. You can go shoot Robot Hitler.
Now you can play Driver too.
Play Wolfenstein. That's fantastic.
We put Grand Theft Auto in your Grand Theft Auto.
Pretty much.
That way, when somebody steals your car, they can actually play Grand Theft Auto too.
It's called irony.
I wonder if that ever happened, man.
I mean, it'd be pretty easy to prove that it was yours.
Oh yeah, 110. But I mean, you gotta imagine they'll take the wheels off of a car in like 15 seconds. Like, there's better than NASCAR pit crews. Like some of these thieves, especially. I mean, around here it's bad too. Yeah, they can cut a catalytic converter off by the time you take the groceries in the house. I was putting my corn pops up. I had to go pick up kids from school. Came out both off the tires. The catalytic converters go. As far as what I've been watching, one thing I want to talk about is I've been watching the live action Avatar that just came out.
I started it. I'm 20 minutes in.
Oh, all right. I have thoughts. We're like 25 minutes on this, so I just real quick. The settings, the environment are gorgeous. Like the settings, the cinematography, absolutely beautiful. The fight scenes are really, really cool. like that intro fight scene with the earthbenders and the fight, like so good. The earthbending looks amazing. The actor for Aang and the actress for Katara, we're like 4 episodes in right now. I haven't finished. It's 8 episodes. I'm not the biggest fan of. They're getting better.
I don't like what I've seen.
Katara's actress, and I don't know if it's a script or what. I don't think that little girl's a very good actress. Sokka is great. I love Sokka. I think Sokka's good. Zuko's good. Uncle Iroh is good. Aang, like Aang.
I've not watched it yet.
Even what I've seen in 20 minutes, I'm like, I hope this gets better with him.
It does. I mean, it does. You can tell the pilot is a little rough for some of the stuff they're going through, but it gets better. And you got to keep in mind, I don't think like 35-year-old dudes are the target audience for this, even though like they're trying to tap into that nostalgia of the cartoon. Like this plays very much like a Mystic Knights of Tir na Nog or something like that for me. Like it is an adventure and it's aimed at like teens. You know, to watch this and go through it. So as much as we look at it and we're like, I don't really care for this, I don't think it's for us. And we're allowed to enjoy it, right? But
I think I have a weird take on it right now because I never watched Avatar.
Oh, okay.
So I'm like, this is what this is about.
Oh, no, you're going to watch Avatar.
I heard Avatar's incredible.
That's amazing. We talked about it in our cartoons episode.
Yeah.
Go back to our cartoons episode. Listen to us talk about Avatar, The Last Airbender.
Check the links.
Yeah. All right, but yeah, I've liked it. I mean, it's serviceable. There's a lot worse out there. I'll say this. There's a lot worse that's gotten a lot more seasons. So
yeah, the Resident Evil Netflix series is out there. That was...
Anyway, I just wanted to add this. We were talking about Pimp My Ride. So I looked up to see if there was any reports of stolen or anything like that. It's just to see. But apparently, according to this Reddit, this is just a quick research. People said that
research in air quotes.
Yeah,
quick Reddit.
Quick Reddit. Look, this is a quick Google search. That's all this was. From apparently what a lot of people were saying is that a lot of them couldn't afford the taxes on the cars, so they just sold them almost immediately. And a lot of people were saying that they usually pimped out the exterior and everything, but they never fixed the motor or anything.
Like the actual problem of the
car. And a lot of them were breaking down not far after the show.
All right. I need water from my radiator. I'll take it out of the fish tank.
Oh, my betas or my radiator? What do I choose? My cichlids. My cichlids.
Sophie's choice.
I love you, babies. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, but now I have to buy fish food.
Oh, yeah. Here's a pet. You're gonna have to check the pH of the water every 6 hours, and it needs to be 85 degrees or it explodes.
Well, you have a garage, right? You can't leave this outside.
I was gonna say they're gonna be cooked in no time inside that car.
Oh my god!
You're gonna come back and be fish sticks.
Just go ahead and braid them.
All right.
Yeah. Anyway,
what are we talking about today, Josh?
I don't know. Fishing cars.
We need a Pimp My Ride episode.
Are we changing the Pimp My Ride episode?
Just one of those what's the house one, the Dream Makeover or whatever. Have you seen the one where they move the bus and the lady's standing there? She's just visibly horrified at what they've done to her house. And they walk her through, and she's just like her face just drops, and she's almost snarling as they're taking her through this house. This is awful. But anyway, today we're talking about anime, and so let's move on to our main topic. So when we talk about anime, what do we mean? What is anime? We've done an episode on cartoons. We know what cartoons are. What's anime, guys?
Cartoons.
Yeah.
Is it?
But from
why do people get really mad when I say that? It's cartoons.
No, they get mad when you call them Chinese cartoons.
I don't think I've ever called them Chinese cartoons.
Oh,
that
no,
seems
sorry,
a little bit offensive.
My students get mad when I see the SpongeBob anime. They get real weird about that.
SpongeBob anime.
The anime you kids watch is SpongeBob.
Well, the anime is from the anime region of France. Everything else is just sparkling anime, sparkling cartoon. So anime, this is primarily cartoons. This is animations, animated content, movies, films, TV shows, stuff like that, from Japan. This is where this specific type of animation originated from. It can be episodic, it can be standalone, it can be movie length, it can be everything in between. Anyone that's listening to this has watched an anime. Let's be honest. I highly doubt someone's listening to this episode and going, "Wow, I'm learning all kinds of new things. I've never heard of this here. Anime? It's blood disease."
I do want to say there has been a rise in Korean anime.
Yeah,
recently, yeah.
Okay.
What's the most popular Korean anime? I mean, I'm not like this is not. I just don't know.
Let me double check, but I think it's Solo Leveling.
Solo
I think that
Leveling.
was Korean, and I mean, it blew up.
I think I heard about that. This is not like my.
I definitely heard of Solo Leveling. I don't.
This is not my wheelhouse, but I think I've heard of that one.
Yeah, I don't think it was. Yeah, South Korean.
Is
Solo
that
Leveling.
Is that on?
It looks good. Oh, that's
Oh,
a
yeah,
anime
it is
that looks
gorgeous.
so good, and they're so.
I've not
pretty.
watched
I just
it,
can't.
I've actually watched Solo Leveling, and it's actually really good.
So I don't have stats for Korea for their anime consumption, but I do have the next thing here is how big is anime, just to give people an example, because I'm sure there are some people who are listening to this episode. Lee just about dumped water all over the floor. There's some people listening that don't really grasp the scale of anime. You know, sometimes it can get dismissed as this is just cartoons or something, but it's a whole other level in that
Well, I
culture.
mean, if you're looking up like the most profitable IPs, One Piece hits in like the top whatever.
I'm talking
like,
about
I mean, One Piece itself billions.
Yeah.
So I mean,
we have.
it's gotten huge.
So I get demographic information for this. So 75% of the Japanese population, this is according to an article that I'll link to in the show notes. Approximately 75% of the Japanese population have watch or have watched with regularity an anime of some sort.
Wow.
71% in the U.S.
That actually, I think the U.S. statistic is surprising.
Yeah.
I just assumed like everybody in Japan watched anime.
Now this is as of 2021, 2022, somewhere through there. So you also have a spike in streaming services through the pandemic. So that may affect those numbers a little bit. Cool. You have a lot of that going on. But still, I mean, that's a large, like as soon as this stuff became widely available via like on-demand streaming, because it was, when I was growing up, how hard, or when we all were growing up, how hard was it to get anime that wasn't on Toonami or MTV?
I've seen the memes. Like, some of you have not watched your favorite anime on YouTube in like 360p and one like
oh
3
my
parts.
God, yeah, with like the waves in it and like yeah.
Or the video store that had like the selection of 5 VHS tapes of
Yeah.
anime.
Dude.
And
we used to
like
love,
3 of them was Pokemon.
Yes.
we loved Ranma Half, and it was everything I could do to get like a Ranma Half video. That and then the Dragon Ball Z movies were just miserable to get.
I mean, like, I remember we accidentally watched an anime back because mom and dad just thought it was a cartoon and got it, and it was My Neighbor Totoro.
Yeah.
Bought that one. Just thought it was a cartoon. And at the time, I had no idea. I didn't know what anime was, and I was just like, "Oh, cartoon, cool."
Yeah. I was the same.
I mean, it was good. So.
Similar to we had Satellite when Spirited Away came out. My favorite anime, just absolutely gorgeous movie. Still watch it with my kids.
I like that one. I like Princess Mononoke.
Yeah, all of that.
Actually, that's my favorite.
That's my favorite one.
Princess.
Spirited Away is my second one.
Spirited Away won an Oscar, so suck it. It is anime in Japan was the most in-demand subgenre for new content as of 2021. That's what most audiences were asking for, were new animes. And
is that only in Japan?
That was in Japan, I believe. That's what I've got right. I'm pretty sure that was just like in Japan was the most.
That's what the paper says.
That's what the paper says.
This is most in-demand subgenre. It doesn't say anything about
And I think it was in Japan.
That's what Josh added to the paper.
Yep.
Anyway.
And then I typed up show notes. So I gave you show notes, okay? I cast my pearls before swine. That's what I do, okay? Just don't pick apart everything. You want to write your own damn show notes? Write them. You know what?
You asked if these were okay earlier, but now I've decided.
Yeah, I did. And I sent them to everybody, and I got thumbs up from Lee, and everyone was like, okay. And Cody just showed that he saw them.
Well, I can't read.
For someone who can't read, you should have a lot to say about these words on your Anyway, it's a $31 billion industry as of 2023.
I think all this anime is making you violent.
It is. Need to ban it. $31 billion. This is in US dollars. $31 billion. It is. That I remember.
You sure it's not in Australian?
I'm so sorry, Lynetta.
So it's the most.
It's them. They're making me curse.
We're trying our best.
You son of a bitch.
It's the most in demand in Japan, but we're looking at US dollars.
$31 billion industry worldwide as of 2023. To put that into perspective, Hollywood is a $100 million industry. Hollywood's or $100 billion. Sorry, $100 million. The Avengers Endgame cost 4 times what the total revenue of Hollywood is. Hollywood is a $100 billion industry.
Wow.
Anime is a third of that. $31 billion. That's unreal. That's nuts.
Well, I mean, Pokemon, which I mean, most of Pokemon's profits is in like merchandising, but.
So what is that in yen?
I don't know. Why don't you Google it?
a lot.
Google what $31 billion is in Japanese yen.
I don't know if the numbers will go off the calculator.
Yeah, that's a lot. So
31E.
Yeah.
So where did anime come from? We're talking a little bit about the history of anime. So I have what?
I did it. I looked it up.
How much is it?
Let's see.
He can't read numbers this high.
It's 46 trillion, 676 billion, 700,000, 250 yen.
46 trillion yen.
Yeah. It's a lot.
That's quite a bit.
That's like $31 billion.
That's almost $31 billion.
It's close. Close enough.
I'm so sorry. We haven't recorded for a little bit. And we really haven't. Like we put out 3 episodes pretty quick, and it's been about a month since the last time we recorded something. And so we just
let it all out.
We don't know how to act. They don't know. You can't take them out.
That's a normal state.
These boys, we're gonna go get these chitlin' rays.
Mom and Dad always say they can't take you nowhere.
I mean, yeah.
Lord help me. All right, origins of anime. So I've got here some precursors for anime, and I apologize because our accents are bad enough, but I'm going to stumble through some Japanese terminology, and if I'm offensive, I'm just sorry.
We apologize. I guarantee you I am going to butcher every one of these.
So some of the precursors to anime, you may want to guess what some of them are. I know we got papers here. But you better want to guess. You're reading what I'm going to
Why, yes, I would love to guess.
Yeah, read that word.
Oh, you ready for this?
Yeah, I'm ready for you to read what this is. What's one of the
Utotsushi?
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 I'm just guessing.
Utotsushi. And I don't know if it's worse for me to try to do it like with the inflection. Or is it worth for me to go, Utotsushi?
Yeah, go ahead and do an accent.
Well, I just did for the first time I did it. Like, tried to. Utotsushi. I can't do it without the accent. Utotsushi is colorful images moving across the screen. So this is like kaleidoscopic stuff. Magic lanterns, which was they'd run paper through a little thing and it would project the light with the screen on.
I thought it was those. The ones that
that's like that's a phantasmagoria.
Phantasmagoria is the ones that spin around.
Yeah,
okay.
I think that's the phantasmagoria.
Get an extra U there. It's Utsushi.
Utsushi. Okay.
I was gonna look it up to try to get a
pronunciation.
Yeah, it wasn't my pronunciation.
110%. It was the extra U's one. Just slaughtered it there.
You confuse us, man of culture.
Yeah, my bad. Yeah, Aaron would have nailed that. Yeah. And then manga, of course, manga is
Japanese comics.
Japanese comics. Manga was a big precursor to
and I guess Korean it's manhwa.
there was a another thing I was reading about as I was is the end of feudalism in Japan kind of drove a lot of this, because you have a more like, once feudalism kind of ended and you had a populace that was kind of like a general populace that was moving up from just being, subsistence farming, moving into the social sphere. Once the samurai class didn't have 2.5%, or what, 60% of the wealth in Japan. You saw, and you watched the series. I was reading it. And most of this information comes from Wikipedia and a couple YouTube videos we watched. So if any of it's wrong, don't blame me. I'm just trying to learn too. Then once you have a populace that has leisure time, that doesn't have to constantly work to live, if you have a populace that has some leisure time, you get art from that.
Sick.
Gross. Look at them movable printed type.
That could have been productivity.
What's that?
You're the reason you're poor.
Is that Family Guy quote? Movable printed type. Keep this from the serfs, lest they gain literacy and threaten the landed gentry. What's that, my lord? Nothing. Back to your turnips. But yeah, so you have a populace that rises up that are more literate. They're reading. There's a higher drive in the general public for art and culture, and so it leads to the creation of, newspapers like movable printed type, right? Like they're sending out flyers or leaflets or just informatics, stuff like that, and that inevitably some of it gets some art and doodles and drawings. Like I think the human drive is to create, right? When you know you're safe and you're not going to die if you don't go immediately out until the fields today. You want to get some leisure time to create.
Let's take a major left turn.
Huh?
Let's take a major left turn here.
Okay.
You think this is going to happen with AI? The robots replacing so many jobs? More leisure time for people?
No, I think AI is going to replace the art before it replaces
That's what
productivity.
it's going for.
It's interesting.
Like, you want
that'd be a great
my real dark take is AI will replace the creation of art because it's more profitable that way before it will replace human production productivity.
That's fair.
I think you're right. It's already, like you said, it's already moving that way.
Oh no, we're moving towards a hellscape. Anyway, what was the first anime? the world's a hellscape.
Who wants to say this one?
That would actually be a really good episode. If you'd like to hear us do an episode on Will Our AI Overlords Destroy Us, let us know.
Katsudo Shashin.
We'll get AI to do the show.
All right. So, in the early 1910s, there was a video, or a little like reel, it's like 3 seconds, a found reel in some kind of storage unit or somewhere in Japan, titled Katsudo Shashin. Katsudo Shashin.
Redemption.
And they couldn't figure out how old exactly it was. It was very old. Yeah. It was a little man. It looked like it was hand animated on celluloid paper. And it's this little man kind of like grabbing something and then turning around and smiling. It's like 3 seconds long. So there's arguments being made that was the first, but it can't be dated. They're arguing it from around the early 1910s. But the earliest anime...
I got this one.
You got it? Do it. What's the earliest one?
It's the dull sword.
The dull sword. Very good, Aaron. The dull sword.
The sword.
So this was the earliest anime that was produced and survived.
It was about samurais.
Yeah, a samurai selling his sword.
Yep.
Yeah. And it's around 1917. Like I said, it's disputed to be the first due to others reportedly. It was disputed because others have been reportedly made earlier that year, like in February. So this one came out, I think they said around like June of 1917, July 1917, and in February reportedly there was something else made, but it didn't survive.
Do you happen to remember when the first cartoon happened?
We
talked about that.
Did we?
Yeah,
I don't know if we did.
Yeah. We did discuss that.
The first cartoon?
Yep.
I just don't remember because it was like, wasn't it Haunted?
That was the first horror movie. That was the first horror movie.
I'm pretty sure we discussed.
I don't think we talked about the first cartoon. I think we didn't, and that kind of spurred on a little bit of this history.
It'd be interesting to see like which one came first, really, the cartoon.
Well, Sorry, what were you going to say, Aaron?
Go ahead.
You might have been about to say the same thing I was going to say.
I doubt it.
It was U.S. animators coming to Japan spurred a little bit of this. So I think, as far as cartoon, I think maybe it was the U.S. I'm not 100% sure as far as like animation, but I know there was a piece in the article about this gentleman from the United States that had come over and was doing drawn animation for like cartoons and stuff.
Dude, that's so cool to think about with Full Metal Alchemist. Weirdly enough, how the alchemy and alchemy, and it was the same dude as the origin, just two different lands. I was like, I wonder if there's something to
this one. I'm going to butcher this because it's French. It was in 1908. It was the Phantasmagoria.
Yeah, Phantasmagoria
Is considered the first cartoon.
Huh. Okay.
So
it's based on little spinning light things, right? That's what the Phantasmagoria is.
The information I looked around, they were talking about how a lot of Western animation inspired a lot of this stuff.
Especially like later on when Disney started getting big. And I cut some of that out about the history because I mean we can go on about the history from like the 20s to 40s, 50s.
Well, I mean,
they were talking
about their own anyway.
That's huge.
Before the war, in Japan too. Before the war, there was an animation where there was like some people doing sports in an animation, and there was like Mickey Mouse and Betty Boop in the crowd, like cheering them on. And then, like when the war started happening, they converted and they actually had Mickey Mouse as a villain, like coming in and trying to attack the people and stuff. And it was just a big propaganda thing.
Well, that's actually what the dead next point on this thing is that during the first two world wars, so we get a little bit of animation, and animation in Japan is not what we know it as today. Yeah. Like this is what we would imagine like Tex Avery cartoons, like kind of sometimes a little wacky, sometimes telling a little story, whatever, but it's not the style that we associate with anime today. But through the first two world wars, it's at least what I was picking up, due to, and especially leading to the Second World War, with the emperor kind of wanting this growing nationalization sentiment, that the primary use of anime was in propaganda films. Yeah. So like what Aaron was saying with Mickey Mouse the villain, things like that, and there was a lot of government-led media censorship through there, where they were just saying, "Okay, you're going to make this. This is this is going to get the people are watching this stuff, and we want you to promote our war."
I can't remember the name of it. There was one about a dog. He had joined the army, and that was it was propaganda to get people to enlist, things like that. But
it was a lot.
For Japan.
Yeah. There's a lot of like pro propaganda. Anime.
That's awesome.
It still wasn't like as popular in Japan as we imagine it now, but it was useful. Yeah. And then some stuff happened. Second World War stuff. Yeah. Some things happened in Japan. It wasn't quite as much propaganda anymore. We'll just move past that. Somebody did something that probably wasn't right.
Things were dropped.
Anyway,
history is a nightmare. Anyway. And then Astro Boy in 1963.
I was actually just thinking about that. I was like, what a jump to go from World War II to Astro Boy.
There's a few before that, but
just a tidbit, something I did learn today and I didn't know, was apparently, American cartoons started getting sound and audio in 1920s. Around 1920s. I don't remember the exact dates here, but Japanese did not until 1930s, because before they had someone reading off audio.
Okay.
They had an actual live person reading audio rather than having audio being played.
I would guess.
And here you can see Tom, and he's got like a frying pan or something. And Jerry's hid from. He's pretty pissed about it. And I guess Tom's gonna wait. No, he didn't see him. Jerry's got a mousetrap. He's going to put it on his tail. Watch out, Tom. Oh, no, you got him.
Snap.
Thank you very much, Tip your waitress.
But I bet it was 1924 because Steamboat Willie just went into the...
Oh,
yeah. 1924 for America.
In the public domain.
Yeah. I want to say
the things they're going to do with Steamboat Willie.
I want to say it was 31 when Japanese got the audio, because the thing I was researching was talking about it. He was talking about how apparently they wanted to stick to traditionalists. That was why they did that originally. And after a while, it just got to where they couldn't keep up anymore. So they eventually just moved to digital audio. Yep.
Well, back to Astro Boy.
Yes. Sorry.
No, that's good. I mean, that's excellent. That's what we're talking about here.
I bet most people could recognize Astro Boy.
Oh, yeah.
Like, even if they don't think they know, they probably
I always
know
thought
Astro Boy.
French's big boy looked like, or Frisch's big boy looked like Astro Boy.
He's like fat
kinda.
Astro Boy.
Yeah.
Fat Astro Boy.
It's U.S. Astro Boy. It's the United States Astro Boy. If that guy's kid had died here, that's what he would have made. Made
These
his
burgers are out of this world.
That's Astro Boy Undercover.
Yeah. So, New Year's Day in 1963 on Fuji TV. This was the first, like, completely popular, like, super popular animated Japanese TV series, both locally and worldwide. Like, something like by today's definition of popular. Yeah. And it was a hit in Japan, it was a hit in America, Europe, all over the place. And this is where Astro Boy is where we get that anime aesthetic. What's the tabletop RPG book? BESM? BESM. Not to be confused with another smattering of letters that are kind of like that. BESM, Big Eyes, Small Mouth. You know, that style of anime. So that's the anime aesthetic. Yeah, and this was by Toei Animation, which is still around. Still a big thing. I have figures by Toei,
Yeah, they're still doing One Piece.
Yep.
And so Astro Boy, this was a TV series. The TV series started in 1963. It only ran for 4 seasons. And it was kind of piggybacking off of the success of some animated films titled by Toei as well. The Boy Sarutobi Sasuke and The Tale of the White Serpent, known in the U.S. respectively as Magic Boy and then Panda and the Magic Serpent. And those films were pretty successful commercially, and so that funded them to be able to do Astro Boy, which was just an absolute hit. And we also see Kimba, the White Lion, come out around this time.
Lion King before Lion King.
Yeah. Kind of.
If you haven't seen there's outstanding similarities to Kimba and Disney's Lion King.
See, I have this very, very vivid memory of being over at Whitesburg Walmart, actually, and seeing Kimba and being like,
oh yeah,
like the video or whatever.
I thought it was like a B movie. Like it was like a knockoff there.
Yeah.
Little no, that's the original.
I was like, this isn't Disney.
No, you better. I didn't know anything about it until later in life. It was around college time I found out about it. I was like,
I don't think I've ever watched it.
I haven't either.
I've never seen it, but I've just seen the comparisons.
Probably like it.
Yeah, it's probably fun.
I want to watch it with someone animating it. Like someone telling me, "Hey, you see Kimba here? He's coming out of the cave. Oh no, there's a wilderness. Watch out, Kimba! Don't go there. Sun's waitress. Tip your waitress. Oh no, Kimba! Watch out for the crocodiles."
In this scene, Kimba just wants to be king.
Think about how he wants his dad to die.
He's singing a song.
Very sad. Very sad. Very sad. And we're moving on. Next.
And Speed Racers at the time.
Yeah, 1967. Go Speed Racer. Go Speed Racer.
Here comes Speed Racer.
1967, we get Speed Racer.
I remember watching Speed Racer.
Yeah, I watched Speed Racer as a kid. I remember watching.
Oh, dude!
And this is before I knew it was anime. I just thought it was
cartoon. Yeah, it was cartoon. It was just didn't know we were watching something from a different culture. We just thought we were watching cartoons. Right, our brain. We were getting exposed to different idees.
It was weird that he moved weird, but the cartoons.
Oh no, it's Racer X. There's a monkey in the back of the car. My brother is the evil Racer X, but I don't know that yet. That's expositional, though. I love Speed Racer. Oh, and in the faces. Oh,
Speed Racer.
I love it. I love it so much.
Yeah. I haven't been watching Speed Racer in a long time.
Wow. You watch the movie?
No.
The live action Speed Racer movie?
I've heard people starting to get back into that. Like,
a lot of
it wasn't very well received when it came out.
It was terrible.
Everybody now is like, you know what? Maybe we judged it too harshly.
Yeah, but it wasn't bad. It wasn't awful.
Well, with series like Resident Evil out now, it's like maybe it's not too bad.
Maybe I was too harsh on you, daughter.
Speed Racer, sure. Resident Evil, no.
It was a very famous director. I thought Speed Racer.
Spielberg. I have no idea. I've never watched it.
I'll look it up.
We need an Alexa in here, so we can just holler at her.
Alexa.
Hey, Alexa. That next point you got on there, that's interesting.
Yeah, so by 1978, there were over 50 anime series running on Japanese television. Over 50 different by 1978.
The Wachowski
brothers. Well, yeah, they're sisters now. Or is one of them trans or both of them trans? Both. Yeah, so the Wachowski sisters.
Matrix. So
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, that's Matrix. They're doing something else. One of them is. Yeah. Fantastic.
But I'm also interested in seeing it. So
yeah, fantastic. All right. But yeah, over 50 anime series on Japanese television by 1978. That's
a lot, dude.
I want to know how many animated shows were on American television around the same time.
That's interesting.
But this is like, these are not all aimed at kids. Is the thing. Like, it's not like, it's different. We're gonna get in that when we get into genres. But one thing in Japanese culture, and we talked about this in our cartoons episode, like the Flintstones in the 60s, right? Was it the 60s or 50s?
It's in the 60s. I was thinking 60s.
Was the first kind of adult-aimed animations. It was on prime time. It was on a major network. Like, it was on 8 p.m. It was aimed at adults to watch, but there weren't a ton of those. There were future ones. There were, the Jetsons and Top Cat, which we found out was one of them, an adult. But there's 50 different anime series on Japanese television in 1978. I wonder what we're looking at for America. Just think there's quite a few cartoons like for kids.
Around that time, we're getting a lot of those repeat.
A lot of the like early Hanna-Barbera stuff. Tex Avery. I guess Tex Avery's kind of heyday too. Like, we're getting Bugs Bunny, Merry Melodies, Looney Tunes. That's actually later for those, right?
The Tex Avery stuff was earlier.
What I'm saying is that's like 78 is late in their timeline.
Oh yeah. That's a lot of Hanna-Barbera because they did that animation style where they would repeat the scenes or whatever else, and we saw a lot of that.
What was that called?
It wasn't necessarily rotoscoping. Maybe it was.
No, rotoscoping was where they took the same animated thing and just animated something else over it. Kind of like we did that with Disney. Did that a lot.
The Jungle Book and
Robin Hood.
Yeah, Robin Hood.
Yeah. But yeah, and then in 1985, we get the wonderful, the beautiful. Everybody knows this. If you have a favorite anime movie, it's probably something put out by them. We get Studio Ghibli. Woo! And we're talking Spirited Away, My Neighbor Totoro, Princess Mononoke, Howl's Moving Castle,
recently
Ponyo, what's the Kiki's Delivery Service?
Nausicaa in the Valley of the Wind.
Oh, I've never heard of that.
It was one of the first ones.
It's a deep dive.
That's good.
Yeah.
So freaking good.
If you haven't seen any of those and you're interested in anime at all, do yourself a favor, go watch one of them. Just pick what you can't pick a bad one, honestly.
I got a hot take.
They're all good.
Oh wait,
my hot take. Okay. It's weird. Like
Totoro.
Totoro.
Absolute piece of trash.
It just has no. It's wonderful, but it makes me angry because there is no conflict.
Yeah.
The mother has cancer, or something. That's it. That doesn't drive the story.
Some people's lives are like that.
There's so few stories that are worth anything that have no conflict. That's the only one I can think of.
Yeah. It's just cancer. It's just she got cancer. Who cares?
But I mean, it's like it doesn't drive anything. It doesn't drive the plot at all. The plot's just like, this is a cat, and it's so good. It's so good.
I mean, if you want a hard one, Grave of the Fireflies.
Oof, I haven't watched it yet.
Grave of the Fireflies.
I'm scared to watch it.
Here, I'm going to read the thing. So, Grave of the Fireflies, 1988, in the war/horror genre. This is an anime. a devastating meditation on the human cost of war. This animated tale follows Saita, voiced by Tsutomu Tatsumi, a teenager charged with the care of his younger sister, Setsuko. After an American firebombing during World War II. Oh, God. It's getting some guilt here. During World War II, separates the two children. Oh God,
This is a rough movie.
Separates the two children from their parents. Their tale of survival is as heartbreaking as it is true to life. The siblings rely completely on each other and struggle against all odds to stay together and stay alive.
It is really
Grave of the
good.
Fireflies.
I don't know that I could watch it again,
Oh,
I heard it's rough.
yeah.
but it is really good.
I bet it is. I bet it's amazing.
I guess to change the tone a little bit here. So just looking.
What person with cancer do you not like?
Yeah. Here's a list of
Who do you
people that
think's
I
making
hate.
it up?
So I don't.
That's the conflict. Can we trust the mother?
What's that thing with the? What's the Ruby Rose, the one whose mom kept making her sick and her boyfriend killed her?
No, that was
That's
Rose?
Ruby Rose.
Is that who it is?
Yeah, that was the one that her mom had Munchausen's by proxy.
Yeah.
Kept like telling her daughter she was so sick and couldn't go out and do anything. And then her like she was like making her daughter sick.
So
Yeah, that's different.
this, as far as
That's
I
what
can tell,
Totoro's about.
I don't think it's Ruby Rose, dude. Ruby Rose is that like her.
No, not Ruby Rose.
You're
Something
thinking-
Rose.
There's something Rose.
Ruby Rose is the one that played Batgirl or Bat. Yeah,
Yeah,
Batwoman.
it was like
It's Ruby something.
or Rose something.
Rose. I don't know. Look it up. Check it out.
Anyway,
so the best I could do was
Gypsy
find,
Rose.
Gypsy Rose.
There you go.
Sorry, Aaron.
You're fine. You're fine. And
Go
so
ahead.
The best I could do is find out. Wikipedia had a list of cartoons at the time, and it looks like there's about 42 on here that I can see. And I don't know. It doesn't tell
Around
me-
1978.
Yeah, a lot of these are just they debuted at that time.
Okay, so we're looking
So-
about 42.
Yeah, and that's I just went through and counted them. Is all. There's about 42, and there's a big list here in September 9th. A lot of them.
Okay, so we're looking at Japanese television had over 50 animated series on, and U.S. television, from what we can see from this Wikipedia article, had less than that.
Yeah.
Just give you an example of how like prominent animation was growing in Japan.
Like I said, that's not an accurate, not 100% accurate kind of thing. It's just I couldn't find anything
Yeah.
that said this is how many things were going.
I wonder if there's any kind of like trickery going on in their animation too. Like Hanna-Barbera was using that thing to pump out cheap.
Oh, I'd say yeah.
I was wondering if anime was doing the same
I
sort of
didn't look.
thing.
I didn't.
I know a
look
lot of
anything up on
early
that.
anime used paper cut, like an anime style called paper cut, where they used paper, kind of like South Park style. to my
Really?
understanding.
Oh, that's cool.
Real early stuff.
Oh, that's neat.
But I don't know.
Like how we're like pre-Astro Boy or
Yeah, pre-Astro Boy.
okay.
Yeah,
So
so-
we're past that. That's old news. We're in the Astro. We're big
Yeah,
eyes,
yeah.
small mouth. That's what we
Well,
want to say.
you just saying about trips.
What? Are you okay?
I gotta check. I might be having a stroke.
Studio Ghibli's still going strong, dude.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Oh
shit.
yeah.
Yeah, look, they had a movie come out last year.
Yeah, the cat. Let's not say the cat in the hat. That's not right.
No, the Boy and the Heron.
Oh, was
The
that
Boy
last
and
year?
the Heron.
Yeah.
2023.
Who?
I can't wait to see
Elijah Wood or Danny Rag? Who was in that?
that. It's
Somebody
I
was-
know Robert Patterson.
Christian Bale was the
Christian Bale.
Christian Bale was in
No,
that.
Christian Bale was. He was in Howl's Moving Castle.
I think he's in this too.
yeah, I
He
think
might
he
be.
they reused some of
They
it.
used a lot of big actors for the.
Robert
the English.
Pattinson was the one.
Robert Pattinson was the. You know what Robert
Is he
Pattinson
the
was?
crane?
Yeah, he was the heron.
The Heron, yeah, the Heron, same thing.
And
Big
it's
stork.
his voice in that is like you would never know.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Because he's like, hello.
Dude, Robert Pattinson's a fantastic actor.
Yeah, I'll get on board with that.
Yeah,
Like-
he was the Gray Heron. Yep.
Like he's an amazing.
Christian Bale is in
Mhm.
this.
I knew Christian Bale.
Shoichi Maki, whoever that.
Willem Dafoe.
Mark
Yeah,
Hamill.
we-
Dude, this is
Dafoe.
pretty much just The Lighthouse.
Dave Bautista.
Has anybody watched The Lighthouse with
I've
Willem
not.
Dafoe and
I've heard
Robert
that.
Pattinson?
It's good.
Dude, it's nuts. It's a
Batista.
trip. Yeah, dude, Dave Bautista's a good actor.
So if you,
Barbara Goodson.
if you recall, like
Give him a
early-
Chan.
I think it was late
Mark Hamill.
90s, early 2000s. There was a huge push for Studio Ghibli stuff the American actors, and there was like that's where we got our version of Princess Mononoke.
Princess Mononoke, Housewife of Castle.
So they're taking all these old things and putting these new, contemporary actors, I guess, into those roles. Like Brad Pitt as Porco Rosso.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
Liam Neeson was Ponyo's dad. I can't remember his name.
Yeah,
but Ponyo's dad was Liam Neeson.
We got Spirited Away was one of the first anime movies I watched, and I had access to it because we ended up getting satellite.
Yeah,
it was when satellite came down here, and then the whole world opened up, and not only was there animated movies, there was tons upon tons of
other stuff.
But
so
there was
when you got tired of the other stuff,
yeah,
you watch anime.
Spirited Away is what I had on the TV when my parents got home.
There you go.
You realize it's the same stuff, and you're like, oh, okay.
We're not talking. That's specifically.
That's actually where I watched Princess Mononoke.
I was at the redacted part of this.
Yeah, it's the redacted part of the show notes. We didn't do that. I had a great bit with it too. I had a great bit, and we cut it.
Yeah.
But yeah, we had that in Vampire Hunter D.
Yeah.
Evangelion. Evangelion.
I didn't watch that till recently. So.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Evangelion.
I was like,
that's
that
a
can't
trip.
mess me up.
That's a trip.
It messed me up.
Yeah. Well, they come out with a movie to explain the ending, and it did not explain the ending. And then apparently, I haven't seen it. They come out with another movie that's supposed to explain the ending even more.
There was some pushback in Japan when Evangelion came out, like some pushback for we got to tone this down a little bit. It was a little bit too sexual in some spots and a little bit too extreme in some spots.
Oh, I thought the pushback was that it was too happy with the congratulations end. I really thought that was the issue. Yeah, it was the congratulations end where they're like, good job or whatever. That's how he wanted to end it, was my understanding. And then people were like, that's not what this is about. And he was like, I'll give you what you want. Then he wrote the second ending with the disgust me one or whatever.
Yeah. Why is he choking her? It's just weird.
And then it was like, and then everybody was like, oh.
Yeah.
Dang. Yeah, whoops. You want what you want till you get it.
Oh, yeah, 110%.
I watched them in college, and I remember my friend had the DVD collection that had them all in the movie. And he was like, all right, here's how I want you to do it. Watch the series, then watch the movie. He was like, and the movie explains the ending. And I remember watching it all, and I went to him, and I was like, you explained nothing.
I know less than I did when I started.
I'm more confused.
I literally, once it was, this was recent, in the last 2 years.
Yeah.
After I watched it, I just sat on the couch for 30 minutes.
He joined me in my dark corner.
Yeah, I was
just scoot over, Cody.
Comes in silent, sits down next to Cody in the dark.
I'm going to Cody's.
Too heavy size.
It's like, yeah.
Lee, where are you going? You have children. I'm going to Cody's.
I have to think of things.
Yeah.
There's no time to explain.
And so, and then there's a giant robot. So she get in the giant robot. I guess the chick's kind of naked or something. I don't know. Get in there, and then there's a lot of allegories.
Just got giant robots. That's all I need. Just giant robots. That's all.
So, there's a lot going on there. I think that's, when you think adult animation, man, I'm not thinking pornography or anything, but it's I feel like
deeper
anime.
themes.
Yes, anime just hits so freaking hard sometimes.
It does.
It
I love
does.
them trying to get real deep.
Yeah.
Attack on Titan, man, I can't watch.
Oh, I actually haven't made it very far into it. I didn't like the animation style, actually.
My son likes it. My son loves it. My son loves JoJo's Bizarre Adventure.
Yeah.
And that's what was
I did a JoJo's pose.
JoJo's Bizarre Adventure is so gay. It's just, and I mean that in the nicest, most sincere way possible. It's just
what season did you watch?
All of them. I've watched the movies with him.
Listen.
I've watched it is just so flamboyant.
No.
It is so gay.
So
it's just in a good way. I love it. I think it's fun.
His original character design was to make fun of Fist of the North Star.
I get it.
That genre, not specifically Fist of the North Star.
He was making fun of soap operas, which is why they had, he was English manner, and it turned out Dio was a vampire. All that went on because he was making fun of soap operas. It wasn't until the second season, or part 3, when he started doing his own thing with the stands.
Mm-hmm.
But when part 5 come out,
Is part 5 the lesbian prison?
no, part 5 is lesbian. Part 4 is when I was thinking with Giorno. That's when it gets.
Yeah.
That's when he's in the Italian one.
Oh yeah, it's real gay.
Real gay. And I remember because our friend Ricky is real big into it. And he's read through the manga and he's caught up. And I just watched the anime. And I remember when I was watching the 5th season. I was like, Ricky.
This is making me feel so.
I was like, it's getting real gay.
This is making me feel things, Rick.
Yeah, Jolene.
Just ordered 10 gallons of body butter off Amazon. I don't know why, Rick. I don't know why.
No, the season with Jolene is a much better gay. So it's a different.
That's the good gay, right? That's the kind
gay.
that cis white males like.
Yes.
That's the good gay.
Well, it's an all-female prison, so
Yeah.
There you just saying. But
Orange is the New Black, right?
yeah,
I just that
much.
was.
Ruby Rose. And we're all
back around. I liked Orange is the New Black
I did
until like the last couple seasons.
I never watched it, but Mom and Kayla both watched it. And they said it was good up
It was.
until a certain point.
Yeah, I think it kind of not really jumped the shark, but it told the meaningful stories, and then there wasn't much else. Kind of wrote its
all
train
right.
a little too long.
Anyway, back to him.
So I mean, but that kind of leads us. We've talked about all these different kinds of anime, and when we think about cartoons also in the U.S. relatively. I mean, we got like heavy metal in the '80s and stuff, but they didn't push a ton of boundaries. We Watership Down, heavy metal. We had the Lord of the Rings stuff.
Who was that guy? They did Lord of the Rings. He did Wizards.
I'm not sure.
Fritz the Cat.
We actually.
We might have talked about him in the cartoon episode. I can't remember the name.
Well,
You know
we
the guy.
discussed it because we went to that Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
And remember, that was the question.
Was it start with a B?
Oh, that wasn't-
Bufka?
I'm not sure, but
Okay.
I know it was the answer. The director of that movie was the answer for one of the trivia questions at Lord of the Rings trivia
Oh, wow.
at the night Elizabeth went to, and that was the one she missed. And like her team, it was her pretty much, but they came in second.
So we were getting, your point is we were getting stuff, but we were not getting that.
And I don't think to the level that Japan was embracing its just breadth of talented animators and letting them have room to explore the medium.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like how can we deliver meaningful, different meaningful stories that aren't just, oh, hey kids, look, it's colorful and it's happy. We're telling dramatic, meaningful stories through this.
So when did most of the stuff I know that was like kind of 80s anime stuff or early 90s was movies, not necessarily series. Like what were we getting at that time? Now we have access to it now.
Well, I mean, in the 80s, I mean, you're looking at like, that was Dragon Ball. That was Mobile Suit Gundam.
Yes, there we go. Okay.
You have, there's an 80s Astro Boy.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's the one that most people know, I think.
The one in color.
Yeah. But I wanted to drive into that point there is that there's so many different genres. I mean, I want to kind of go into with the last little bit of the episode.
I mean, Fist of the North Star was in '86.
Yeah.
There you go.
Fist of the North Star. Lupin the Third.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Lupin the Third, I think, was like in the 60s, like 70s.
Yes.
Like Lupin the Third was in the 70s.
And we got a Miyazaki remake of it.
What was the Big O? Remember the Big O on Toonami, but the big
big giant robot.
Yeah, I think that's late 80s, early 90s through there. But we didn't get them until Toonami.
Yeah.
I mean, we could get them.
Right.
You could get them, but they weren't like, you couldn't turn on the TV and there it
I
was.
think Akira was like one of the first ones that we got.
That was I took Akira off of this, and I mean to talk about Akira.
That's why it's on the
Akira
episode.
in the 80s, huh?
That could be its own episode.
Oh my
Oh,
god,
yeah.
Akira just
That's a 10 out of 10 for me.
yeah.
Fox actually ran anime for a little while early in the morning.
Did they?
Yep, because I remember waking up and watching. I watched like Zoids and Dragon Ball.
Well, yeah,
Z,
I mean, you had Pokemon and Dragon Ball Z and
Yeah,
Zoids
but
and
that was-
Yu-Gi-Oh and all that.
that
That's
was
Ocean dub.
Yeah, it was Ocean dubs. It wasn't the good stuff. I mean, it was still. That comes into a whole other thing of subs versus
Like-
dubs. And,
I specifically remember. You remember like the old mail-in commercials, like for just 3 payments of $19.95, you can get it. Seen Akira or
Akira,
whatever on that where you could order it. It's like the Japanese anime storming the world. Or
Dude,
whatever.
Akira is so good, and it's really,
Yes.
I mean, Akira at its base is just a coming of age story for this kid. Like you take all the monster fighting and all this, like, it's this kid dealing with puberty. Like, and the changes his body's going through. Like that. Like, at the end of it, it's just, like, he feels like he's becoming a monster. You know, I mean, I'm kind of paraphrasing here. But you take all the flashy stuff out of it, and that's kind of the story. To me, it's what I got from Akira. It's one of my favorite movies of all time.
We really should nerd out on that sometime.
Yeah, we should do a nerd out. All right, all the different genres for anime. So we got a little bit left. We got about 15 minutes here, and we're just gonna go through some of these anime genres. So I want everybody to flip their papers over because I'm gonna ask you questions. Yeah.
It's a quiz.
Cover your paper. This is a quiz time.
Oh god!
All right, this is gonna be fun. Don't be looking at what the things are.
Is this what I've been doing to people?
So here's a quiz. All right. The genre, Kodomo Muke. What does that mean?
Food.
Kids.
All right. Means for kids. All right. Aaron's looked at it.
I can't read.
Kodomo Muke means for kids. So this is stuff like Astro Boy, Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh! Stuff that's directed to a younger audience. So
Did you guys watch Astro Boy?
Yeah.
I think I've watched a few episodes.
I did. I watched.
I just recognize it.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't say I've watched the entire series kind of thing, but I watched some on Toonami.
Right? And then Shonen.
Young boys.
It's like teens, right?
Yeah. It's like adolescent.
It's young boys. It's meant for
genre,
like
right?
Yeah.
It's meant for like 12 to.
It's like TV 13.
Kind of.
They were more action
A
oriented.
little more edgy. So this is Naruto, One Piece, Dragon Ball, Full Metal Alchemist, stuff like that. And then Shoujo.
Full Metal was riding that line.
What was it?
Shoujo.
That one's for girls.
Yeah. That's the same as Shonen, but it's for girls. So just for some examples, Sailor Moon.
Oh yeah.
I like
Card
Sailor
Captors.
Moon. I'm gonna be honest.
I mean, I like Sailor Moon.
Oh, dude, Sailor Moon's amazing.
Good.
I loved Card Captors.
I never watched
You
it.
ever watch Card Captors?
It's like I started watching Dragon Ball Z, and I was like, "Well, this is cool." And then it was like, Sailor Moon would come on afterwards. And I was like, "I like this more."
Yeah. Of course, it says there's a young boy.
I bet in Japan. I bet in Japan it's not censored.
I hear they don't.
There's just stories around the schoolyard. In Japan, they show everything.
Oh yeah, I remember those.
Seinen.
It's a more mature one because it has to be for adults because Berserk is in
You
it.
friggin' weeb.
I know that one.
What a weeb. What a weeb.
Hey, I had a
12 tendies, Cody. Good boy points.
I would guess about a 15-year-old student today that said, "Have you ever seen Guts?" And I would not have expected this. I understood it. And I was like, "There's hope."
Guts like Nickelodeon Games and Sports where they were like the aggro crag?
No, sorry, Berserk.
Berserk.
Oh, Guts. I thought you were talking about like Nickelodeon, like the aggro crag, like the
Guts from Berserk.
Oh,
Guts Berserk.
I thought you meant Gantz, which is another anime, and I was like,
yeah, he probably shouldn't see that one either.
I was like, whoa.
Gantz is rough.
Yeah,
But I was just surprised to hear
Actually,
him say Berserk. He was like, "The new one's okay, but the other one's better." I was like, "Huh? Who are you? Are you a time traveler?"
Anyway,
Probably too young. But yeah, seinen means like adult. It's young adults. So this is for like 18 and up, 21. Seinen? Seinen.
I looked at the pronunciation beforehand because I knew Berserk was in it. Another
Berserk,
one.
Vinland Saga. We had someone on one of our posts today
Cody.
on Facebook talk about.
I started watching
Vinland
it.
Saga's really good.
He said it was like transcendent.
This is aimed towards, and this is a more dramatic. So this is what we're talking about with these multiple genres. But this isn't just for kids. Like this is telling a story that you would get out of like a Breaking Bad style show. You know, that level of drama. And
Neither are American cartoons anymore. It's
I mean, we're moving quite a bit there.
Yeah. Well, I mean, even in the shonen, you start getting a lot of the heavier
All right.
handed stuff.
Josei.
You got me on that one.
Wait, I read it earlier.
go for it.
I don't remember.
Yeah, let's see if they remember my show notes.
I was thinking Josie's funny because like something to do with women. Oh, it's like slice of life.
Kinda. It's so it's targeted towards adult women, the same way that seinen is targeted toward adult men. This is targeted toward adult women. So you have some examples are Princess Jellyfish, Usagi Drop, stuff like that. I'm sure there's probably some one there that I've watched, but I don't know.
Have you guys seen Chobits?
Yes, actually.
Okay, so Chobits, where would that fit?
I think Idol and let's get through these subgenres real quick, and then I got subgenres. So that was the article I read gave those as like the main ones.
Yeah.
And there are subgenres. So we see subgenres that can fit in each of those earlier genres, but they're also their own little thing. So we have mecha. So this is like Gundam, Evangelion, this giant robots, Zoids.
I never would have guessed. I never would have guessed.
Asking us. I was like, well, mecha.
Okay.
Robots.
I never could have guessed mecha.
Yeah. I'm going to ask a couple of these, but then we got slice of life. So this deals with like daily lives and drama and
fruits baskets.
Yeah.
Chobits would not be slice of life, I don't think.
This is that Usagi drop stuff like that.
Partially, I guess.
So there's a new anime called Journey Beyond the Journey Beyond the End, I think, with Farron. And it's I love the Zach was like our friend Zach Blackman was like, I've never seen an anime about D&D be a slice of life anime because it's after the adventure.
Oh, that's
like,
neat.
and it's really good.
Huh.
Maho Shoujo.
Gesundheit.
Shoujo. Maho Shoujo. So think back to one we just talked about.
Well, I know the shoujo,
Okay.
but
I think you just look at it.
well, I'm just trying to see the name.
Yeah.
It was
Maho Shoujo.
Maho.
Card Captors is an example of this.
The monster stuff?
Is it?
Kiki's Delivery Service would be. It's a magical girl.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I know the next one.
Isekai.
Isekai is another world.
Yeah. So protagonist. So when I looked up the definition, it was protagonists die and end up in a fanciful place. I don't think they have to die.
they don't have to die, but
This
it's
is
a common.
Yeah,
so
a
like
common thing is to die, but they don't always.
Sword Art Online. We think that would be something like that.
Kinda.
It's technically in another world. Yeah.
Yeah. What else?
Let's see. There's one called
that time I got reincarnated as a slime.
Reincarnated Slime. You have Overlord. He doesn't die in Overlord.
Yeah.
So
Kind of, man. Like if we were trying to
yeah.
apply these genres to American animation. All right. Here's one. Yaoi. Yaoi. Yaoi.
Oh, wait a minute. I remember this is Owie. This
Yeah.
is the
Yaoi's
Owie.
Owie.
Yeah. So yaoi is gay romance, homosexual romance, but primarily between two men.
Yeah.
And then there's Yuri, which is the opposite side of that. That is lesbian romance. And not necessarily like this doesn't have to be like overtly sexual stuff. We're not looking at like so it's just romance. Like we're looking at a gay main character, a gay protagonist, or a lesbian protagonist. Some examples of yaoi are Given. Given is an example, and then Bloom Into You for Yuri. I haven't watched either of those. And then here's one that I watched all the time on Cartoon Network. An harem anime.
Tenchi Muyo.
Tenchi Muyo.
One gender is surrounded by another gender that all of them love.
Either a guy that's got all kinds of girls around. I'm sure there are some Yaoi and Yuri harem animes.
And
I guarantee
the one we got
there
was
are.
really censored too, because Ryoko spent a lot of time naked.
Oh yeah. Oh dude, that was again around the schoolyard. Was they showed all of it in Japan? They could see them. Really?
Tenchi Muyo, yeah.
Oh dude,
Yeah, it's like
I bet if I saw it,
There's
Tenchi
Tenchi in
Muyo.
space, Tenchi in Tokyo. There's a few different
So
series,
good.
but
and then Ecchi. Now this is fan service.
That is the almost.
It's like the softcore.
Oh,
Yeah, it's
she
almost
spends
like
a whole lot of
they show topless, but nothing else.
Yeah, this is adult content, explicit, usually violent.
Yeah.
Sometimes in a decent amount. Well, I mean not all the time, but like High School of the Dead is one.
That's cool. That's good.
Oh yeah, oh yeah, dude.
So
I didn't watch
I may have been, preoccupied with all the other fan service that it was just.
I was not. And then Idol, and Idol.
That's where they stand still.
Yeah. So this is male and female idol anime. So like, idols are kind of what Japan calls their pop stars.
I think Fruit
Right.
Baskets is idol.
Oh, there's the Idol Mask. There's all kinds of.
Fruits
never
Basket's going to be a
watched.
little more slice of life. Well,
But I think
kinda.
these can mix and
You
match.
can mix
They're
and
not,
match,
like,
yeah.
it's
Aren't
not.
they idols in that one though? I thought.
Because we left out like
I didn't
horror.
watch it.
There's horror
there's
animes.
horrors,
There's
there's psychological, and they still
Yeah.
have like stuff like that. But
comedy.
most of
you
the
know,
horror stuff falls in the seinen type.
Yeah.
There's
There's just
like Parasite, I think, is considered the same in it. It's a psychological horror, like body horror kind of.
What I'm saying is anime is a very broad topic. Any closing stuff on this, guys? We're kind of nearing our end. Anything else we want to talk about? Like, I know on here we talked about subs versus dubs, stuff like that. Anything? They want to give an example of what is a sub, what is a dub?
Sub is usually when you're reading subtitles on it. Dub is when they have dubbed or English voiced over.
Or whatever.
Or,
they've localized the language.
Usually a big argument about which one is better, but it's whatever you like. Really,
you get the elitists that think that subs are better because the Japanese voice actors are the way it's supposed to be, and then you get those who think that dubs are better because they can't read and watch at the same time.
Yeah.
So, but I'm one that if I'm doing something, I'd rather listen to a dub because I like to hear what's going on and understand. And I don't have a problem usually reading and watching, so I don't mind subs. So I'm really on the fence, and it doesn't bother me either way.
I like both. I've heard bad in both. I've heard good in both. So I mean,
I'll watch both. I prefer dub, but I'll watch both for sure.
I think there's some things
anyway. I can't hear.
Some things I prefer sub for, just because I don't think the voice actors did a very good job. I'm trying to.
There's some.
I actually can't think of any examples right now.
It is difficult actually going between both. I know at times I have watched both, and the voice actors because they're so different.
I know one. I can give you a direct example of right now. That
can you?
What was the
Trigun?
The one we're just watching where they're eating the monsters in the dungeon.
Oh,
Delicious in Dungeon. Delicious in Dungeon, which is new. It's on Netflix right now. It's fun. It's not the best thing I've ever watched in my life, but it's fun. It's that little anime we were talking about, and one of the what are we reading, what are we watching, what are we playing segments. I think last time actually.
The last episode.
Yeah. I prefer it subbed to dubbed because I'm not a fan of the voice actors.
Let's Yu Yu Hakusho, fantastic
so
dub. Amazing.
I and Tyler were talking about that earlier today.
A lot of times, like I said, sometimes it just comes into what you hear first.
Sometimes, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
If you hear the Japanese voice actors first, that's what you become accustomed to. So it's odd hearing the English.
I can't watch Pokemon subbed. I can't. I've watched almost every season of Pokemon, save for a couple of the new ones, and it would get to the point where I would catch up in America, and then Japan's like 6 months to a year sometimes ahead of us. We're like, well, I want to know what's going on, so I'm gonna go watch, and I can't watch it sub. I just can't stand it. Even though the voice actors are talented, it's just I'm so familiar with Ash's voice and what that voice actress does with that. I can't. It's a different one. Anything else we want to add?
It's a broader topic than I thought.
Yeah.
I cut so much out.
So much.
We could talk more about this.
I mean, you could do like 7 Nerd Out episodes on just some of this.
Not
even just do specific shows.
The implementation of it, especially during the wars, was so right. It's so neat to delve into that and see how they used animation to kind of be this kind of propaganda machine.
I think access to it is really interesting. Like I definitely, as a teacher, have seen so many more students. It's like the rise of anime, even since I started teaching. So many students. It's like it's not. You're not the weird kid anymore for liking anime.
No, but it's more prevalent. Like the rise of on-demand streaming and the prevalence of being able to watch what you want to watch and having so many more options.
Yep. Yeah. I really think it builds bridges between cultures. Honestly, at school.
110%.
I mean, that goes back to the nerd episode. It's no longer a bad thing to be a nerd.
Yeah.
And I think about this too because, Shane's not with us.
Oh yeah, we were supposed to have a guest on today, and we tried so hard to get Shane here. And if you're listening, Shane, which I know you don't listen, so go to hell. He turns on the podcast and lets it play.
What a jerk!
If you listen to this, we're gonna get you on an episode because we love you very much. I just don't know if you're gonna fit in there.
Missed your chance. It's done.
He gave me he was my access to a lot of anime at the time because around here we have this coal boom or whatever, his family was pretty wealthy at the time, and so Shane was able to purchase anime through his parents or stuff because that stuff was like expensive, man.
Oh yeah,
Like to order like VHS tapes was like 35
we'd
to
order
50
them from
bucks a piece.
like not 4Kids, but there was another one. We'd order all like the Ranma halves. Again, I love the Ranma halves. It's so funny.
So I was watching Vampire Hunter D, Vampire Hunter D Bloodlust. I was watching I can't remember what all. Trigun. I got all this stuff.
Oh,
from Shane.
Dragon Ball.
Dragon Ball. I was getting that stuff from Shane because he had it. He had this large collection of this stuff, and he's like, "You gotta check this out." So, like about that, it's like I wouldn't have been as into it. But now with the access to it, kids watch Netflix and whatever else. I mean, we got anime on. I mean, it's on I imagine it streams on everything, right?
Yeah, there's anime tab on every streaming service now.
I guess that's
it may not have a lot on it, but there's at least a tab there for it.
That's that. Most in-demand subgenre for new content. I imagine it's pretty far up there too.
Yeah. It was massive. It was so much higher than the next.
We wouldn't be getting stuff like. I would argue we wouldn't be getting stuff like Invincible. We wouldn't be getting stuff like that nowadays, even though that's not an anime, right?
Yeah. But
the popularity of this stuff.
I think that goes hand in hand with the prevalence or the rise of adult animation in the U.S. too. Yeah. But then, see, there's a market for it, and people want this.
Yep.
This may be a topic for next time. Think of it. If you ever see a 4Kids symbol on an anime, run away from it.
What?
4Kids was awful.
4Kids ruined One Piece.
Fox strangled any kind of anime they could get a hold of.
Are you trying to say?
Go ahead.
Fox is an evil entity.
I know, right?
Fox.
And
when has Fox done anything wrong?
I have seen.
You tell me one time.
So many things that they ruined, and I've seen so many stories of people that was
not a sponsor, by the way.
That was directed that directed animes for them, and
Rupert Murdoch, if you're listening,
they just strangled those animes. They wouldn't let them produce like they were supposed to.
Huh.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Like Digimon was the closest thing, and that was Jeff Nimoy was one of the directors behind that.
And it was still kind of neutered.
Yeah, he talked about how much he had to fight to get anything. That they changed names of characters because they wanted everything to be related to American children and not be like it was in Japan.
I think some change is okay sometimes, right? Like, take that Avatar and new live action. I think sometimes audiences can be very, very resistant to any sort of change just because, hey, this new adaptation, and I know like releasing the anime sub-dubbed is completely different. They're actually releasing the anime. Why are they changing anything? Right? I'm just talking about like change from going from animation to live action. I think that's also a good topic to go into.
That'd be good.
At some point. But we are past our 1:30 mark, so we've been jawing at you for over 90 minutes. We're going to stop here. We're going to cut. There's a whole lot more to say on this. I do not doubt we will come back to anime as a topic at some point.
I've had somebody asking me to do a Nerd Out episode with him on there for One Piece specifically.
Yeah, well, I mean, man, we're
Johnny?
happy. No. happy to try to do it. If there's something you want to nerd out about and we can try to fit it in, let us know. We may have room to have, we look for having other nerds on the podcast all the time. I can't guarantee I'm going to get everybody that wants to be on, but we try to do what we can do. But we have a brand new way for you to consume your nerd fix, and that is YouTube. The Hills Have Nerds is now on YouTube. Right now, what we're doing is we're kind of slow feeding in our past backlog of episodes. So by the time this airs, we're doing 2 episodes a week. We're kind of at an accelerated drip feed. We want to put everything on there at once, but we also didn't want to do it once a month like we were doing before. So by the time this airs, we should be around episode 8 or 9, and this is episode 11, so it won't be too long before this gets onto the YouTube. But we've developed we're starting our YouTube presence, and we're hopefully going to be able to do some things with that. We're looking into maybe doing some live streaming, maybe doing a little bit of just other content, like video content. We have some people ask about it. We're not 100% committed to that yet, so I don't want to make promises, but it's something we're looking into. And so we have the YouTube now. We want to expand our nerd room. We want this to be a community that people can be a part of and participate in and really enjoy and have a lot of fun with.
We're on the YouTubes now.
Yeah, pretty much. So if you go to YouTube, it's YouTube at The Hills Have Nerds. Come find us. And what's the annoying thing? What do you say at the end of your YouTube video?
Nothing anymore.
You don't say smash that like and subscribe button?
That's outros don't get attention.
Okay. See, Lee knows about this. Lee is the YouTube guru.
Why would you say nothing
He's been
anymore?
there forever.
What happens is when people hear that, they go, they stop the video.
Yeah.
So that's a percentage of your video not being watched.
Oh, because they know it's the end, and they say, okay, cool. So this isn't the end. Don't stop here. The podcast on YouTube. But yeah, so we're on YouTube now. As always, we still have our Facebook page up, and we have a lot of great community discussion there. Come over and be a part of it with us. Come on our Facebook at The Hills Have Nerds on Facebook.com. Just search us and come on our Facebook. We also have an email. We want someone to email us stuff. Email me things. I'm the only one that checks the email, and I want to communicate with somebody. Email me something.
That's why they don't send anything.
Yeah, I know, right? It's at Hills Have Nerds, or it's hillshavenerds at gmail.com. Everything else is at Hills Have Nerds, and this one
is a random email now.
Yeah. But email us. Let us know what your favorite anime is. Let us know what you would like to see in future episodes. I'm not trying to do an outro or anything. Just having a conversation. I'm sorry, you done? You done? You just done? No, we're good.
This is a good episode. Yeah, we're good.
Jesus. Anyway, hillshavenerds@gmail.com. Send us let us know what you're wanting to look for in future content, so on and so forth. Other than that, Aaron, anywhere the people can find you?
At The Hills Have Nerds.
Pretty much the
Facebook page.
Facebook and the Gmail if you want to get a hold of Aaron. Cody?
I don't know, I'm still running. Hopefully they can't find me.
You'll never get me alive. Cody, you'll never catch him alive.
Exactly.
Lee, where can the people find you? I know you got stuff.
Twitch.tv at PixelBroLee, TikTok at PixelBroLee, Instagram at PixelBroLee, Facebook at PixelBroLee, and most importantly, YouTube at PixelBroLee. So
just put Pixel Broly in anything and you'll find
if you Google Pixel Broly and you don't find Broly from Dragon Ball Z, you might find me.
All right. We'll have links to a bunch of the stuff we talked about in the show notes. We'll have links to all of Lee's social media in the show notes, as well as the Hills Have Nerd stuff. Guys, an exciting time to be a nerd. We thank you for sticking with us. It's time for you to enjoy your tendies and tell your mom to bring you some chalky milk.
Ask for the bucket.
All right. And we're done.